Hello, YouTubers in America. Today I brought with me a guest. This is Lady K, and she's going to tell us why it is necessary to own one of these and our civic duty. So, go ahead.
Well, you have to take into consideration what was being dealt with when the Constitution was formed. The Founding Fathers wanted to ensure that we could overthrow a tyrannical government, which it actually states in the Declaration of Independence that that is why we have the right to bear arms. The Second Amendment states clearly a well-regulated militia, being necessary to secure a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That doesn't mean regulate what kind of arms. The arms that we are allowed to carry are not intended for the purpose of anything else but to kill people who try to suppress us. All of you out there that are saying, this right here, we're not entitled to, there's no need for it. Our Second Amendment does not exist to go hunting. It doesn't exist to protect our homes. It exists to overthrow a tyrannical government. Now, if you think you can do that with a single-shot rifle, you're welcome to try. That's why we have the right to own whatever weapons necessary.
And just to ask you a question. Is it legal that they are regulating our weapons so we're only allowed to own a semi-automatic firearm?
Well, no, it's not. But unfortunately, people seem to think that they can negotiate away rights they already have. They're fighting over peanuts when they don't realize you already have the right.
And also, just make sure that, this isn't coming from some redneck in the hills. You are a political science major, correct?
I am a year away from having a double major in political science and psychology, and I plan on being a constitutional lawyer. So yeah, I kind of know what I'm talking about.
And out of curiosity, what is a well-regulated militia and why is that necessary?
A well-regulated militia should be able to handle and compete with any other army out there, which means we should have the same weapons as our government does and entitled to those and any other government in the world. That is a well-regulated and well-armed militia.
And what else the militia supposed to do according to our government and certain tyrannical properties of it?
We have an obligation to overthrow anyone that tries to take away our liberty. And regulating what the amendments say we have is taking away our liberties. You're sacrificing your liberties because you're afraid. They're feeding off your fear.
And anything to say about the shootings as of recently in that Pacific bar?
Well, for one, I think we need to get off the focus that it's an LGBT community. They're American citizens, and as such, they deserve the protection. And if that man doesn't represent all Muslims, then why is he representing all gun owners?
And I couldn't agree more with Lady K here, considering that I own several guns and I'm a responsible owner of every one of them. I don't go out shooting people for fun of it or because I have some extremist idea.
Well, that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter how extremist ideas are. You're a U.S. citizen and you're entitled to firearms equivalent to what is going on in the world so you can protect your liberty and this country's liberty. Period.
And just to go over this, what are inalienable rights of this country?
Inalienable rights are considered the rights, the law of the land. There is no compromise. There is no taking them away. We are born with these rights and we die with these rights.
And as far as your opinion on us bringing in Muslim refugees, well, we were just at war with the Islamic State.
For one, there's a difference between a refugee and an invasion. And if you look at the statistics and look what's going on, they're not interested in integrating. They're not interested in being part of the melting pot. It's an invasion and it needs to be stopped.
And quick question, would you have an issue with the quote-unquote refugees if we did more severe screening on them to make sure that they were interested in being a U.S. citizen and not a U.S. invader?
Refugee means that they're fleeing for something. And generally, a refugee is pretty open to whatever they can get. It's usually women and children. So yeah, I support refugees. I don't believe anyone should have to live in that kind of conditions. But what's coming over here is mainly men that believe in Sharia law And Sharia law is not compatible with our Constitution. And they are
And
not willing to give up their law.
and out of curiosity, I don't know if you know this or not, but could you go through with us what is Sharia law on a political aspect?
Sharia law is both a way of governing and a spiritual thing. They're blended, which again, our country does not do that. There is no state religion, there is no federal religion. Sharia law is exactly that for Muslims. It's a religion and it's a law. As far as the specifics of it, it's a huge thing. You would have to research it, but it's pretty open. And it involves a lot of really bad things that we're against as a people, as our Constitution.
And do you think that any of our constitutional rights should be invaded at any time, not just our right to bear arms?
Well, considering in our Constitution in the first 13 or first 12 amendments were ratified, those shouldn't be messed with at all. The 13th through 26th amendments have never been ratified through the states. They're not really amendments, they're just considered that. Don't believe me? Look it up.
And if you want to find a way to look that up, have any sites that you could recommend for the viewers that don't have a vast amount of experience in doing this sort of thing?
U.S. Constitution.gov. Look up legal terminology of constitutional law. There's several sites. You can just Google it and it will bring up so much information. Not hard to find at all.
And I highly encourage all my viewers to do this. And I also encourage all my viewers to, once it gets going, to tune into Grandma Fuzzy. She is another political debater like myself, more along the lines of the peaceful side, but it's always good to have peace with violence so it balances itself out. Isn't that correct?
Well, it's pretty obvious that you're not going to get peace through peace. You have to have some violence sometimes to get peace. It's a balance thing. But being informed is the key. Violence is useless without being informed. It's just violence.
And that goes for every type of violence. Beating up somebody on the streets just as bad as going out and shooting somebody if it's pointless and no meaning behind it. Anything you'd like to add to today's talk, Lady K?
Nope.
All right, well, this is Greed of Love signing out. This is Lady K. Tune in to Grandma Fuzzy. I'll let you know when that gets on in here. Get yourself a weapon, get yourself some ammo, and get ready for a shitstorm because it's coming. I bid America farewell.